Yo, what is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's episode, we are going to be going over the 5 easy closing sales tip for you so you can get that sales education. Now, before we get started, make sure and click down below, hit that subscribe button so the channel can grow. We would appreciate your support on that so we can get this out to many more people. They can start learning sales, they can make money, and they can actually live a free lifestyle. For you watching this video right now, go ahead and hit that like button for me because it helps me out a lot. I appreciate it. Now, without further ado, we will go ahead and get started into these 5 easy closing sales tips, and we will begin with number 1, which is listening. Okay. Listening is super important in the essence of sales. You need to know how to do that. And a lot of people do not know how to do that. They know how to talk, but they don't know how to listen. You need to understand that you have 2 ears and only 1 mouth that God gave you. You need to listen. Now, with that being said, okay, when you're listening, you need to listen for certain things, certain situations, and of course, when somebody is speaking, certain indicators for pain points, things like that. When you listen, everything starts to go to plan, and that is exactly what you're going to be using, I guess you could say, as ammunition later on in the call, okay, in the actual sale. Because when you are listening, you can actually hear what somebody is telling you. You can hear their pain. You can understand where they're coming from so that you can serve them at the highest level. And that is the goal in any situation when you are selling. So that is number 1, listening, and it's super important. Now, number 2 goes directly into listening, okay? And that is putting yourself in someone else's shoes, right? Too many people today in regular life, not even in sales, don't do that, right? They don't actually put themselves in somebody else's shoes and realize how they may be feeling, how they may be acting, and why they make decisions the way they do. In sales, it is very important. And it's going to teach you a bunch about life too, because you need to do that in your everyday life and understand that people have pain and situations and all that other stuff of their own. They don't need yours along with it, right? Now, in sales specifically, it's very important for you to put yourself in somebody else's situation. Very important, because when you are doing that, you are allowing yourself to enter their mind and understand why they are saying the things that they are saying. Understand their experience in life, why they do the things that they do, why they make the decisions that they make. And hopefully, for the better, you will be able to turn that situation around and help them say, hey, this is why you need to make this decision, because it will be different from all the other ones, and all the other ones have kept you in the same place. So, number 2, again, make sure and put yourself in somebody else's situation, because it will help you so much. Now, number 3 in these situations are going to be giving actual and actionable value steps when you are selling something. Most of the time, if you do things right, you are going to actually make the sale, all right? You're going to serve that person, they are going to buy, and they are going to move forward, okay? However, there are situations where they just will not buy anything, right? Those do exist. Now, with that being said, your whole goal on a sales call was to help. You are there to serve and to help somebody else make a decision yes, make a decision no, right? That is your goal as a closer. Now, with that being said, if somebody decides no, they at least need to leave with something that they can actionably do. And that's where the value comes in, okay? You need to actually be giving people as much value as possible so they can at least leave with something. Now, on the flip side to this, for you actually closing the deal, this helps quite a bit, because when you give value, it shows how much professionalism and credibility you actually have to be selling the product and talking about it directly to them. I'm sure many times you or somebody else that you know has went up to somebody, started talking about something and said, just let me talk to your manager because you don't know as much as I need you to know. Somebody has ran into that situation, okay? It's the same in sales. A lot of people will say, let me just talk to a manager or the CEO or whatever, because you do not really know what you're talking about. However, if you start incorporating value within that sales pitch, you can start to show how much you actually know about the specific product or the specific service, and that builds trust, which is something that you need. So with that being said, that is number 3. Let's move on to number 4. Be honest. This is something that we preach inside of our sales team that we've been training for a while now, and all of the students that we have inside of our specific program. We tell people nonstop to use the honest framework. And that is literally just being honest with people. Stop beating around the bush, stop playing games, stop doing all that stuff, and just be honest with people. Tell people what comes to your mind when they say certain things. Now, I will disclose, does that mean be a dickhead? No, that does not mean be a dickhead, okay? Still say it in a very nice way, in a serving way, right? But say, hey, you just said this recently. How come you're backtracking? I'm trying to wrap my head around it so I can help you make the best decision. You need to call people out. You need to say what comes to your mind. Being honest is going to help somebody far more than lying to their face. That is super important. Please keep that in mind. So being honest is number 4. You need to follow that honest framework and tell them how it is, right? And last but not least, number 5. It's probably the most important one on this list today. And it is something that is very, very difficult to wrap your mind around. But it is being solution oriented. You have to realize as a salesperson, you are a problem solver, right? You solve problems. You help people fix certain things. And if you look at any problem solvers, plumbers, anything like that, inventors, research them first of all is the first action step I'm going to give you, okay? Research them and see why they did what they did. Why did an inventor invent something, right? Why was the camera invented? Why was your phone that you're watching this on invented the way it was? It was to solve a specific problem. And you need to understand that as well about being solution oriented. If somebody comes to you with certain problems and certain situations that they're in, how do you fix it? That is the number one thing that you should always be asking nonstop over and over and over again. If you can constantly ask that, you will start to become solution oriented around your daily life. Oh, I can just fix that. And I would encourage you as well, as a little actionable step, if you're in a situation where you really don't know what to do, instead of Googling it like we all do, right? Just try and fix something, right? Try and actually do that step to make sure that you're solution oriented or you're being solution oriented. Because when you're on a sales call or when you're in front of a person actually selling them, you're not gonna be able to Google nothing, right? You're gonna have to actually become solution oriented and solve the problem that they're giving you. So you need to do that. You need to practice it because practice makes perfect, okay? And that is a super, super important one, probably the most important on this list. And I hope you found it super valuable. Now, speaking of practice, okay, we actually have a program called Simplyclose, me and my business partner. What we do is we actually break down all of this in great detail for you, and we practice with you. So that way you can perfect it, you can make sure you're good, and then on top of that, we actually go and place you in a company to make sure that you have a guaranteed job and you can actually be selling as soon as possible. So if you want to be a part of that, just look in the link down below, message me on Instagram, and we will see if you are a good fit for what we have going on. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it super valuable. And if you did, again, hit that subscribe button down below and make sure and hit that like button for me as well. I appreciate it.